night, first Sunday of November, first Sunday of a time change, first Sunday in my basement, and God knows how long because it's too cold to be outside right now. Anyway, this is the special edition of Hall Hoops and Happenings. H3O, as I'll be our new nickname going forward. H3O. I got to talk to my team about that. But here we are, Sunday night, like we said, 9:00. Great football game on right now. Great day of football. Depends on what team you like. But I had a good day. But the most important thing, while we're here right now on Surge Sports and Hall Hoops and Happenings, is tomorrow, opening day of college basketball, and our Pirates play their local rivals from the Pulaski Skyway, St. Peter's. Of course, next to me, my two great co-hosts, we have Paul Justafan. Paul, how are you?
I'm doing well today, Bobby. Thank you.
Very good. And then below me, Nick from Millburn. Nick, how you doing?
I am stoked. I am excited. I am looking forward. Waited a long time for this for tomorrow night. I am getting fan of the game. It's not just for me. Yes. Well, Stack Monster got it after being a fan for 5 years. I mean, my family's had season ticket holders tickets for 50 years. So yeah.
So if they do it when I think they do it, you're right by me then.
I have to meet them at section 20 minutes before the game.
Okay.
So well, I'm going to come over to you anyway. I'm in section 11, so I can walk around.
All right, if you're joining us, you want to say hello. Again, our chat is open. And also tomorrow night is the debut. Another new show here. We have to come up with a little logo or something for it. The official Nick from Millburn post-game show.
Yeah, my name's on it, I guess, because of Hallline, but you guys are welcome. And we're going to try to get people in the green room and then bring them on real quick to kind of talk for a few minutes and then go off. So we'll,
Yeah, and as the season goes along and as I get back home, get back here and reestablish my two locations where I do my content from, there will be phone calls.
Okay, that would once we could do that, that would be amazing. In the meantime, we'll just send them the link, and they could just pop on, give us their thoughts, and we'll go from there. Yeah, keep it moving a little bit.
All right, well, you guys take it away. I'll do some producing stuff here. Again, tomorrow night, big game versus St. Peter's. It's always going to be near and dear to Coach's heart after when he took him to the Elite Eight a couple of years ago. And who knows, the way the college basketball world is these days, they could be a feeding ground for us. I don't know, for lack of a better term, because of the way players keep going back and forth and whatnot and transferring. Well, guys, take it away.
Yeah, let me start, and then we go into Paul with a little bit more in-depth stuff. So we played them last year, almost a year to the date, November 4th at home, and we beat them 57-53. So it a low-scoring game, and Mason, their coach, that's his style too. I don't want to see a low-scoring game tomorrow. If they're going to be in the 50s, I want to be in the 70s or 80s. I think we need to be a little bit more up-tempo, as I've said a million times. Last year, we were next to last in the country in points scored per game, scoring 50 to 55, 60 points against St. John's isn't going to be good enough. Now, that's St. John's style. I mean, St. Peter's, not St. John. It's always thinking of St. John's, but that's St. Peter's. St. Peter's last year beat Murray Mac. And I bring that up because Bud Clark, our point guard, was on Murray Mac last year. And they beat Murray Mac 48-37. Okay, another not high-scoring game. Bud Clark had 18 points and 2 assists. So he accounted for, 22 of the 48, almost half the points. What I want to see from Bud Clark tomorrow is I want to see at least 10 assists. Now, I go way back. Paul Lape, I don't know if you guys know him. Paul Lape was a point guard, one of the first freshmen ever to play at Seton Hall out of Bloomfield High. He holds the Seton Hall all-time single game assist record with 17 assists. Guess who he did it against? St. Peter's, 73. I was at that game. Andre Barrett, you guys heard of him. He had 13 assists in 2000 against St. Peter's. Our all-time assist leader is our coach, Shaheen Holloway, 681. If Clark's going to be the true point guard, I want a point guard looking to facilitate first and not looking to score. If we can get 10 assists from Clark tomorrow night, we'll be in really good shape. And just about St. Peter's real quick. St. Peter's has a history. The Milburn High School, and I'm, Nick from Milburn. The Milburn High School coach, Roger Blinn, one of the greatest coaches. He was at one time the head coach of St. Peter's. Bob Kelly Sr. from South Orange. I coached his sons, Owen and Jeff. His Bob Kelly Jr. was a starting point guard for St. John's. He was a coach at St. Peter's. I know some people say, Nick, we like your institutional memory. Share it a little more. Teddy Fiore from Our Lady of the Valley in Orange. Okay? He was a head coach of St. Peter's. So there's a lot of familiarness with Seton Hall and St. Peter's. We need to come out tomorrow. We need to move the ball around. Clark needs to show some leadership, and we need to score some points. Paul, thoughts?
So, Nick, I think, first of all, I agree with everything that you've said. Bud Clark, it's hard to say the knock on him was that he was too important to Merrimack last season, but he did have that utilization rate of over 30%, which meant that he basically had the basketball all the time. You're right in that he had 18 points out of 39. He also turned the ball over 6 times in that game, Merrimack, against St. Peter's. And we played a terrible game in that 57-53 victory.
Right.
We shot poorly. We had 14 turnovers. We got out-rebounded by a team from the MAC. And, I remember posting on the Facebook group that we did all these things terrible and we still won the game, and that was going to be a harbinger of good things. Well, unfortunately, it didn't end up being a harbinger of good things last season. So when I look at the team, I have to say, first of all, that I want to see us see St. Peter's is in the same boat as we are. They have a whole bunch of new players. Half their offense has left. The 3 players who together account for 30 of the 60 points of their offense have left. So Bryce Eaton is the only starter from last year who's going to be playing this year. We have no starters from last year who are going to be playing this year. So it's not like St. Peter's is a bunch of veterans who've been around playing together for a long time while we're still trying to work out the kinks. St. Peter's is also going to be working out the kinks. So that's not going to be an excuse. So I think Bud Clark's play, everything starts with the point guard. He has to distribute the ball. I would like to see him get 10 assists would be amazing. I'd like to see the assists be real assists. In other words, him finding the other players when they're in position to make plays. There are some times when point guards get an assist, they make a pass, and then the guy drives to the basket, makes 5 moves. It wasn't really an assist, but they'll credit him one. I'm talking about giving Ninja Hines the ball inside where he can go and score, hitting Staten McCray where he can step into a 3, hitting Fisher where he's got a driving lane. That's what I think I need to see Bud Clark do. So I'm with you 100% on that, Nick, that I think it all starts with him. And then we see what happens.
So we had talked about this. We're going to be a little short. And, one of our strengths is our depth. So I'm hearing that God's Will is going to be out, that Josh Rivera is going to be out. And who else, Paul? One more.
I think the Patrick Suenik.
Yeah, Sumanik. So what is your projected starting lineup? I kind of think, and Bobby and I, we've had a couple conversations with AJ, and great kid, right, Bobby? I look for big things from him, and I just hope he gets his shot back. So I think Clark, AJ, Fisher, Hines, and then who do you think the fifth is going to be?
So I think this starts to get into something we were talking about last week. How deep a rotation does Coach Holloway want to play, and how many different combinations does he want to play? My own guess is going to be we're going to see Clark. Given the fact that God's Will and Pat Simonik are both out, we're going to have to see Hines.
Have to.
Right? He's going to have to.
He's going to have to start.
Now we need Fisher was the best scorer that we had from last year. I think that he's going to get the nod, so he's the third. I think that they're going to need a shooter, so it's going to have to be Seton McCray.
That's right.
I understand that Trey Parker might be a little bit banged up as well. So now the question becomes, what does the offense need to look like? If Coach Holloway is looking for another shooter, then I think the fourth starter is going to be Dar. If he's thinking about Hines being an inside offensive force, then I think we're going to see Stephon Payne the third. Because there is that when you have an offensive-minded center, and we saw this with Patrick Ewing, and we saw this with other guys. A lot of times, if you have an offensive-minded center, you want a power forward who's going to be a very tough, strong, rebounding kind of player, and that's going to be Stephon Payne. So I can see him playing the four, looking to be the guy who hits the boards while Hines is more offensively inclined. Now, if they don't want to go inside to Hines and they're looking to shoot more, then I think we're going to see Seton McCray and I think we're going to see Dar, because those are two of the better shooters on the team. Fisher's still a slasher. Clark is going to go to the basket. Whether we want him to or not, Nick, Clark is going to go to the basket because that's what he does. So I think that offensively, it's going to depend on how Coach Holloway wants to play. And also, to a degree, what the matchup is. I looked at St. Peter's team. I'm going to just take a quick look while I'm talking to you guys and do a sort from ESPN by height when it comes up. And when you look at the team, St. Peter's, Akil Watson, who's supposed to be one of their better transfers, is 6'9". Lucas Scruggins, who's a bench player, is 6'9". They don't have anybody taller than 6'9". So if we decide that we want to try to go big and play Hines and Payne, I could see that. But we also don't necessarily have to worry too much about their height, so we can actually use Dar. So
see, I'm going to go the opposite. And what I saw in the scrimmage, and again, it was a scrimmage, and I loved the way that Clark took the ball to the hole and fed Hines. Hines has great hands, so I could see the high pick and roll on that in a set offense. But what I also saw was Stephon Payne and Hines, believe it or not, and Bobby was saying something about maybe Hines getting even a little bit faster. They run the court really well. And again, I don't want to score 50 points tomorrow night. Well, we have to score at least 70 points. And we need to run the court. Okay, we have a point guard who can run. Every drill that they were doing, Hines was blowing everyone away. And a lot of times in those drills, Payne was second. Okay, so he can run the court too. We got to run tomorrow. We have to play a little bit up tempo. We don't want to play their game. Their game is ugly and sloppy, and we were ugly and sloppy last year. I don't want to be that this year. So, I mean, if we have 25 points at half, I'm not going to be a happy camper. What do you think, Bob?
Well,
let's see what Bob.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
Again,
Bobby.
we have two teams that are basically rolling out fresh new lineups. So I think it's going to be a bit of a sloppy, maybe first half of the first half, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
First game of the season, 10 new players on the court who never started or played with each other before, so to speak. So I expect a sloppiness to begin, but then hopefully our experience and playmakers take over at that point and make it a better overall game. And then second half, we pull away.
Yeah, and Bobby, that's where I was going. When a Big East team that's going to be a legitimate contender plays a team from the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference early, that team, St. Peter's, should be going into the game realistically saying, we'd like to hang around for a half. We'd like to be in the game for a half. And so if we're have a first half that's sloppy, if it's 32-30 Seton Hall at the half, or we've been down in the first half, but then we went on a little bit of the first half, and we're in the 30s, that's fine. But we've got to come out on a 12-0 run and end up scoring 45 points in the second half and end up winning 78-60 or something like that. That's what Big East teams are supposed to do to teams from the Metro Atlantic Conference. And if we can't do that, I think that we're gonna struggle a lot this season. Last year, it's interesting. 2 years ago when we won the NIT, we had a very lousy November, a very lousy December. The team clicked. We played better in the Big East than we did against our outside competition, which wasn't as good. And we came very close. I think we should have gotten a bid to go to the NCAA tournament 2 years ago. So I think last year when we went into our non-conference schedule and we were losing, I kept thinking, well, you know what? That's what happened that's what happened in 2023, 2024. And they'll come together. And they never did. So this season, I want to see something out of the box that tells me that this team is going to be good and get better. And I want to do what they're supposed to do to a team like St. Peter's. St. Peter's wants to hang around for a half, I'm fine with it. But, I want to see a 78-60 kind of score. St. Peter's scores 60 points.
I want to see up tempo. I agree with you. I want to see up tempo. I don't want us to play to the level of our opponent, because we did that last year. Whether it be a Big East team or whether it be Fordham or St. Peter's, we're in all these games, and no, you can't. We're a Big East team with Big East roster, with players that that we got out of the portal that they couldn't get out of the portal, and we got them right, higher rated players. And we need to come out and show ourselves. And we're going to play hard defense. Hopefully, Hines will stay out of foul trouble. And I have no idea, but your first game, at college, you get used to the officiating. He has a big body. Hopefully, they don't get him with some early fouls. We need to. I'm gonna look at a couple things tomorrow. I'm gonna look at the leadership, the tempo of Clark. I'm gonna look at Hines. Offensively, but defensively too. If he gets a couple of early fouls, that's not going to be a great thing, especially with Godswill on the bench. And I'm gonna see if we could score in transition. I'm gonna see if we come out trapping and pressing, which I think we will, and then if we could get transition points. But I don't want a 55-50. I don't want, what was it last year? 57-54, something like that. 57-53. I don't want that. No, I will not be happy.
No, you're right.
If we get that result. Not at all.
Now here's the issue what Paul mentioned real quick, Paul. Here's a little issue about what you mentioned. You're saying St. Peter's should hope to come in and play with us for a half, right? But here's the issue with that. We were 7-23 last year, something like that. So we have to get that monkey off our shoulders.
That's right.
That we're back to being a better, hopefully the middle of the ground Big East team, and not the fodder team that we were last year.
No, I cannot imagine that St. Peter's. I can't imagine St. Peter's is going to be intimidated, Bobby. To your point, they're not going to come in afraid. They're not going to come into the Prue Center saying, "Oh, we don't belong here."
And really, of our first 5 games, right? The only team that should be intimidated. I mentioned this to Nick the other night. The University of New Haven is the 365th team added to Division I basketball. It's their first year playing D1 basketball. They should be intimidated because they're new.
I don't
Anybody
think
else shouldn't be.
That's right. I don't think Peters is going to be intimidated. But what I think they're going to do is they're going to come in and play ugly and keep the score low. And we can't fall into that trap with them. And we have to, I mean, we have to get shots off within 15 to 20 seconds of possessions. We can't hold the ball. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to eat up the shot clock, make it a slow game. We need to get a lead on them. So then they have to up the tempo a little bit. And then we want a faster pace game. We can't play into that slow nonsense, 48-37 against Murray Mac tempo. No, that's not going to benefit us whatsoever. We got to go out there and run the court, press, and score some points. And that's what I'm looking for.
So I'd like to talk just a little bit about St. Peter's, just so that, like a little bit of a viewing guide for tomorrow night. St. Peter's finished 12-16 and 7-13 in the Metro Atlantic Conference. They did not have a great year. I believe, Nick, they might have been one of the lowest in scoring last season.
No, there was one team, not them. One team in the whole country.
Okay, but they were
close, but we were worse.
And so their best player is their who is a sophomore freshman. He averaged about 11 points per game. He's a pretty good three-point shooter. Very, very good foul shooter. He shoots almost 90% from the line. But last season, he was against us. Okay, I think he had 1.2 turnovers for every assist that he had. Now, he will be grown up a little bit. He will be a little bit more mature. And I would imagine that he's going to take care of the basketball a little bit better than he did last year. But he is probably their best player. He's not much. Again, he's not much. He's only 6 foot tall. He's not going to have a huge height advantage over Bud Clark. And so I think that's going to actually be a key matchup. Eaton against Clark will probably be one of the key matchups in the game. The rest of St. Peter's is hard to get our arms around because none of these guys played a lot last year. They have a player named, their shooting guard is named, I'm trying to find him here. It is because I put him in the book wrong. His name is Brent Bland. He's supposed to be their shooting guard. He's a senior. He was out last year, and the year before he was averaging like 5 points a game. But he's supposed to be one of their better scorers. They have another player named Zachary Williams, who again people, a couple of Zykeir Williamson, who people have talked about. He's a 6'7" forward, and he again averages 4 or 5 points a game. These are their scorers. He's a pretty good rebounder too. So when you look at their statistics, the guys who have been played on St. Peter's, you don't see guys who have resumes that you'd say, okay, this guy is going to be really good. This guy's going to be the star. So it's hard to kind of judge where the matchups are going to be. I don't know if they have anybody who can guide Elijah Fisher if Fisher decides he wants to go to the basket. We haven't talked about Simpkins and his ability to go to the basket. If you think about it, if we have TJ Simpkins, Fisher, and Clark all on the floor at the same time, we have I would imagine we're going to have a quickness advantage against a team like St. Peter's. I don't know how they're going to guard man-to-man those three guys who all know how to get to the basket. But again, reason we love this sport is because you don't know what's going to happen until they throw the ball up.
Well, I think what you need to do with Bryce Eaton is trap him and get the ball out of his hand in the backcourt. He has a negative assist to turnover ratio as it is. So let's up the tempo. I don't want to see, again, I keep saying it, but I want to see a higher pace game, especially because we could bring a Simpkins in and we have Fisher. And if Parker's healthy, we have definitely more athleticism than them. And we haven't proved that, maybe Dar with the 3-point shot and maybe Stanton McCray. But I want to see up tempo. I want to take the ball at a hole. I want to get them in foul trouble. Let them bring guys like Lester Scroggins off the bench. I want this to be our game. Like in the women's game, right, Bobby? It wasn't that much that we won by 40 points. but it was how good we looked, right? And how quick, how paced we were. And again, it was Philadelphia. It was Jefferson from Philadelphia Division II. But we just looked like a team. We moved the ball fast. We didn't take our time. We didn't get into a sloppy game. I want to see that from the men's team, right, Bob?
Yeah, exactly. Now, I wonder, guys. I don't know if you guys know this or not, and it's something that just kind of hit my head. I wonder if the team ever goes to the Proof Center and practices on that court before the game itself.
They do. I know that. Yeah, when my son Nick was a manager, yeah, they would get him down there a few times. Not primarily, but before a game, because the rims are different.
Yeah, it's a different, every time, we won't play basketball. We go to a different court, a different park or something. The rims are different. You play different sometimes, right?
Yeah, the problem is getting court time with games and things like that. But yeah, they do. That's a great point, Bobby, and I know that's true because my son did it.
Cool. All right, you guys, any final thoughts for the game?
Well, again, I'm with Nick. We should have more athleticism than St. Peter's. We should be stronger than St. Peter's. It is easy in a sloppy game to get into one of those ball on the floor, diving guys and 18 fouls, and the game has no flow. And to me, that's the only way St. Peter's can win.
Yep.
If they can get us into that kind of game. The problem is it's not hard to get us into that. It hasn't been hard to get us into that kind of game. We need, this is going to sound funny. We need to look pretty tomorrow.
No, yeah.
I think that's what, right? We need to look pretty. We need full length court passes, alley-oop passes, guys making moves inside. I don't necessarily want a typical Big East 6 bodies diving for a loose ball type game. I want to look pretty. I want to look fast, and I want to look athletic.
Well, that was my point with the women's game. I don't know if pretty's the right word, but they look cohesive. There was a nice flow to it. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see, this grinded out, 57, 53 diving for loose balls. Nobody's hitting shots, running out shot clocks. No, I want us to really come out and take it to St. Peter's. Now, there's going to be nerves tomorrow. Let's face it. Opening day. Hopefully we'll have a decent crowd down there. The season ticket holder base, hopefully nobody's giving their season tickets away for the first game. We're just wasting them. Hopefully some students will get down there because I'm going to be honest, the student section was not great last year. You can make up all excuses in the world. I heard every excuse from young Sheldon to everything else that why we didn't have a student section. But we need a student section. And I wanted to talk to Nick Morgan if the kid wasn't in love about it, why we don't have a student section. Got a brand new DJ going to be pumping the music up. So, Professor Bernstein's going to be at the game tomorrow in the student section. So hopefully she get on a show afterwards and tell us about the student section tomorrow.
And, of course, when we have our first flag man, my eyes will be on Nick to see how disgusted he is with the new flag man we're going to have.
No, so here's my thing. And I got some first look. I don't look.
No, I know what you're saying.
The flagman thing. I've been seeing the flagman gimmick for 30-something years. Okay, and Bobby and I saw the flagman gimmick at the women's game without the flagman. I mean, it's great. I don't know. I think you save it and bring it in for really big events. You don't use it every game. There's no reason to have a flag man against St. Peter's when you're up 40, hopefully up 40. You're down 2 to Georgetown at home, 3 minutes left. You want the crowd pumped up, do the damn flag man thing. But you got to pick and choose. That's my personal opinion. I know it's blasphemy. Oh, Nick's getting old and grouchy, but that's just what I think. But Bobby and I, we didn't talk about this. At our table at the beefsteak was the person that does the game day. And he said they had some really cool stuff, right, Bob?
Yeah. Actually, I want to see a flag man when we play Rutgers. And oops, flag dropped. Guy couldn't handle 30 laps. Sorry, Rutgers.
I remember poor Father John got hit with the flag because they went to put it down and he was in the huddle, got hit in the back. Someone get hurt with that damn thing. So, yeah, you got to – I don't know. I hope this I don't know. Flagman was getting an NIL.
Are they going to have Are they going to have the promotion where if they miss 3 foul shots in a row, you get a hamburger?
Probably. Oh, I would imagine.
But
Because
here's what I don't like about that. Here's what I don't like about that promotion. Nick getting grouchy again. They only do it like they don't do it all game. So they only do it in the second half.
By the time they rattled off what you needed to do to get the hamburger, I was ready to just hit a McDonald's. I mean, it was just
That's right.
it was too complicated.
That's right.
Now, do you want to talk about the women's game at all?
And nobody. And here's the other thing: nobody gets ticket stubs, right? So how does PGR know? How do they know? How do they know if you're at the game or not?
And real quick, if you're rooting for 3 foul shots to be missed, it's not the opponent team, right?
Yeah.
All right. So
it is the opponent. It has to be.
It's actually 2. It's actually 2, but yeah.
I can see that being all right. I can see that being okay.
Yeah, and I like BGR. BGR has good burgers, but I mean, do this thing the whole game. Don't do it in the second half. Do that promotion the whole game.
I haven't had it yet.
So, do you want to talk about the women's game at all?
We recapped it the coming game or the
no Tuesday's game. Tuesday's game against St. Peter's, right? Because the women are opening up their regular season at Walsh on Tuesday night.
Yeah, Jordana Cadio. That's all I'm saying. She is the real deal, right, Bob?
Yep. Hold on, you just reminded me. I gotta text coach about tomorrow.
Why don't I just talk a little bit about?
Ask him if he was impressed or if he was expecting that from Cadio against how she just stepped right in and Bobby and I both thought we were going to be in trouble without Faith Masonis, and she was everything Faith was last year.
Bill Hathaway, what's up, Bill?
Oh, Bill has 2 extra tickets. If anybody is interested, let me know. I'm going. I don't need them, but Bill, thank you.
So, if I could just quickly talk a little bit about St. Peter's women's team.
Is Phyllis Mangina still? Wait, not to interrupt you. Is Phyllis Mangina still an assistant with them? Our head coach went there and was an assistant. Is Phyllis Mangina still an assistant? She was like 3 or 4 years ago.
For who?
St. Peter's.
Really?
Yeah, see? I saw her at a game. I'm like, what's Phyllis Mangina doing there? Yeah, she ended up being an assistant for St. Peter's.
Wow, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Okay. So St. Peter's women's team was 9-11 last year. In the MAC, 11-19 overall. Just very quickly, statistically, their best player who averaged 18 points a game was named Fatmata Jenna, and she is now at Texas A&M. But they have a woman named Layla Laws.
That's a hell of a jump.
Who is a forward. Sorry?
That's a hell of a jump.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Layla Laws is returns from last year. She was injured. She only played in 6 games. But she and why did I close the damn thing? That was the dumbest thing I could have done. And I'm gonna just give me a second, guys. You're gonna need to vamp while I get back to where I was because I pushed. Yeah, Layla Laws is
don't have. They have a girl from New Jersey, and we don't. They have the girl you were talking about, Layla Laws from Pine Beach, New Jersey. We don't have a Jersey player.
Yeah, she's returning. She averaged 9 points a game, and they have another girl named Lala Grant, who is also back for St. Peter's, and she averages 7 points a game, or averaged 7 points a game last year. So they've got a couple of their scorers back. They've got a veteran team, a little bit different from the men's side for St. Peter's, who's trying to put together a team after they've been stolen. Obviously, St. Peter's losing their best player to Texas A&M will be a blow for them, but they're going to come in with a veteran team that has played together and they very well might be. And now, so do we, right? We have everybody back. We have our guards back. We have there's a couple of other players I know on our team that are back.
Well, we should have three.
And
Paul, we should have our backcourt is back, and our small forward Shaylin Pinkley's back. Right, Nick. So the other two should be new.
But Paul, watch out! I'm telling you. I don't know if you saw Bobby and I show the other night. Zahara Bishop, first guard off the bench. That girl is a player. She is going to be something. We have a Big East, all Big East backcourt to begin with Eads and Catalan and Bishop coming off the bench. I love the women's team. I don't think they're going to have any. They're going to win by 25 against St. Peter's. I don't want to jinx it, but sixth in the MAC last year, lost their best player. It's going to be a blowout. It's going to be a total blowout at Walsh. Total.
Well, and again, the game is at Walsh.
Hopefully our people show up because St. Peter's is not that far away.
No. Now, they'll have some fans there. But hopefully our students, I mean, it's a Tuesday night. It's on campus. There is no excuse. Just go. Tickets are free for the students. Go to the damn game.
Right. And Walsh now seats, about 1,500? It shouldn't be that hard to fill it.
No, about 1,500. In its heyday, it was like 32. I remember.
Yeah, but they took the seats out when they put someone said that when they redid the balcony, it lost a bunch of seats.
Well, what happened when they put the coach's office? That's where my dad's seasons were.
Okay.
And then the bleacher seats used to come out right to the court, and there were more of them. And then there were seats on the stage.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there was a lot of SRO upstairs, a lot of SRO. Fire chief sometimes turned his head in the old days when Nova and Georgetown came in and everybody else. Yeah.
Yeah, but like Paul's trying to mention about the amount of fans that the place can hold. Even last year we had a good team and we barely filled the place up. So I mean, we really need to get our fan base, our alum, our students into that gym because you're going to witness something special.
Well, and that's the excuse. Oh, the kids can't go to the Prue Center. There's buses that go to the Prue Center, but they can't walk across the lobby or across the walkway to go to the women's games. Come on. Women's are going to be very entertaining this year. Honestly, a good crowd. I can't make it because it's election night and I feel bad, but I'll go to the next one. But we need a good crowd there.
Yeah, we need to really show. Like I got to joke around with Eli. My freshman year, our men's went to the NCAA's. It was a very special season, and he might have that on the women's side. And the good thing about it, it'll be there. Hopefully, if a lot of stuff working for Pirate TV and stuff. But yeah, we got to somehow get our fans there because we have something special there brewing.
A couple other things just to mention. We are opening, obviously, up on Monday night. St. John's will be at home against Quinnipiac. Georgetown's home against Morgan State. UConn is home against the University of New Haven, which I want to mention them in a second. Xavier has Marist at home. Providence has Holy Cross at home. Marquette has Albany at home. Albany's actually usually pretty good. DePaul is playing Chicago State. And Villanova is visiting number 8 ranked Brigham Young, right? Wow. Who just went out and signed a zillion kids.
And they had the number one. They had the number one freshman.
Yeah, I've got his name.
Before the subject of St. John's, what really aggravated me? There was an article in the Post about St. John's and Brazler. Is that the guy's name, Bobby Brazler? Zach
Brazilier, yeah.
Brazilier. And not one word did he mention. He mentioned the priest. He mentioned Patino. He mentioned the athletic director. He didn't mention NIL. I mean, come on, guys. That's why you get the best recruiting class. Not stupid. There's nothing to do with Patino saying, "Oh, I'm going to improve your game." Who cares? I'm going to improve your game and give you $1.5 million. Then
I'm going to improve your bank balance. Is what I'm going to improve
your bank balance. That's what it is. Come on, Shaka improve your game too. One question while we're on it: did Kadari Richmond get better under Patino? Did he? Might have gotten worse. Might have gotten worse.
He
right?
Did not.
He was another guy was going there to improve his game to get an NBA jump shot. Yeah, that happened.
So to finish up the rest of the league, I'm looking at just the ESPN things. We are a 14-point favorite over St. Peter's with an
They have a
over.
line on the women's game. Wait, in
No,
the
this
men's
is the men's game.
What did they have a line on the women's game?
I don't know. I'll have to check, but
We're
I just
14-point favorite.
14-point favorite over St. Peter's.
Yet everybody blasted us, right?
Mm.
Every publication, every sports website has Seton Hall last in the Big East.
Paul, what's the over/under? What's the over/under?
129.5.
120.
129.5.
Yes.
And last year we scored, do the math, Nick, 110 combined.
So what they're figuring is,
wow.
if it's 129, half of 129 is 65. So they're looking at 72 to 56 or 57, something like that.
And that's what I said. We had to score 70 points.
Yeah, so that they're looking at a
There you
72
go.
to 58, 72 to 57 kind of a game.
Okay, I'll take it.
And one thing I wanted to say about New Haven, okay, the brand new team, they are at UConn. They playing Penn State at home. They are at Seton Hall. They are at Boston College. They are at Vanderbilt. And they are at Fordham. I mean, that is.
So, Paul, you're a kid. You're what's that? The Nutmeg State, right? Connecticut.
Yes, I'm a Connecticut
You're
guy.
a nutmegger. What's up with this school? I mean,
Ka-ching.
first year playing D1 basketball.
Bobby, they're getting paid for all those trips. Ka-ching.
Yeah, but I'm saying first year playing college basketball
Yeah,
D1,
they want the paycheck.
and now they're D2. They're D1 in football next year, right?
No, they're D1 this year.
So in their little tiny stadium, they're playing D1 opponents. Like, they're getting money, but we can't. Come on.
Well, no, they're getting money to pay to play these teams on the road.
Yeah, but
they're getting paid.
Yeah,
you got two major programs that are upgrading to D1. That's not cheap.
Yeah, they have. Now, I've spoken to a guy up there. Maybe we can get him on before we play UNH. But he's been talking about how they haven't had to spend a ton of money to go up to D1. They were spending a decent amount of money in D2. Obviously, they got to deal with the scholarships. They haven't upgraded. The stadium still seats about 4,000 or 5,000 people. Which, by the way, they're outdrawing Yale. Makes my hair hurt.
Oh.
But UNH is outdrawing Yale. Yale's got a 55,000 seat bowl that the Giants used to play in.
Wait,
and UNH is outdrawing them at home.
Is Yale on campus?
No.
Oh, the New Haven Bowl?
What do you mean? I'm sorry?
Yale State, the New Haven Bowl? We're talking football?
Yeah, Yale Bowl is in New Haven.
But
is it on their campus? Is it on their campus?
It's about it's a 2-mile bus ride.
Yeah,
Okay.
But it's where we also have all the intramural fields. So if you're going to play intramural soccer or intramural touch football, you go out to where the bowl is. And it's not more than a 3 or 4 mile bus ride. I think 20 minutes on a school bus to get out there.
I love New Haven. I love West Haven, New Haven.
What? But UNH has said that they didn't have to invest a ton of money to go up to D1, and the basketball team they are getting played. I'm sure these are all guarantee games, and those 4 or 5 games are funding their program.
Yeah, I think somebody from my high school here, Elmwood Park, last year or this year, got a scholarship to New Haven for football. So then when you saw it, you're like, oh, New Haven. Then you realize, oh, it's D1. That are D1.
Yeah, they're D1 now.
That's pretty cool.
So
road trip next year
should be interesting.
Oh no road. We're not doing a home and home with them. No way.
No, I'm saying I would like to see a football game. D1 football. Road's gonna fight D1 football. You got Rutgers, you got Monmouth, right? You got Yale, Columbia, and who else? Marist.
Princeton.
Marist.
Princeton's
There's a little
FBS.
more than you think. Okay.
But by the way, if you're looking for FBS, I think Rutgers is the only game in town in football. Rutgers, Army, and University of Connecticut are the only FBS schools in the area.
Temple.
And then you go down Temple. That's about it.
Go to Penn State, see a real football program, even though they fired their coach. Rutgers is a make-believe football program, not a real football program. With that coach no one else wants. It's true. It's true. You guys are laughing, but like the guy was unemployed. Nobody hired him.
No, I've met that guy at
I'm
media
laughing,
events.
Nick, because I'm usually the one who says that stuff.
I've met Shano at media events back in the day when I was covering the team. He's not a nice guy. He's not a nice person.
No, and he's not a good coach.
He's aloof.
He's a Carino.
Oh, jeez.
Well, what I find fascinating about Rutgers is they start off their schedule every year with Ohio, Miami of Ohio, Norfolk State.
Right.
They manage to go 3-0 in their out of conference games. And then all they got to do is go 3-6 in the Big Ten to get in a bowl. Now this year they lost to Iowa, they lost to Minnesota, they lost to Washington. Oregon beat them 56-10. Okay. Now they've got Maryland, Ohio State, and Penn State. Now, they probably can beat Maryland. That would give them their 5th win. They're not going to beat Ohio State.
No.
And if Penn State, if Rutgers beats a demoralized Penn State who doesn't have a coach, I don't know. I think we're all going to have to go hide because Rutgers people are going to be absolutely intolerable to be around.
One of my best friends, his uncle was the coach of Rutgers when they beat Penn State the last time. That was in the 80s.
When was this?
Dick Anderson in the 80s, 88, I believe. All right, my senior year. So, yeah. So that is actually might be a big game there, Penn State versus Rutgers, because Penn State's falling off like nothing, and Rutgers has to have that. You said has to have that one win to play in Yankee Stadium for the 5th time.
I know that's right. That's it. That was the worst thing. I always thought the University of Miami had to play Rutgers in New York. You're in the nice, warm Miami, and you get your bowl, and you got to go to New York and play December 16th. It's like 45 degrees, winds blowing.
And now they have a Fenway Bowl. Now they got a Fenway Bowl doing the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
And those guys are like, how come we can't play in Jacksonville? Or, there's not a bowl in Florida that we could go to.
Like the bowl at Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium, Fenway, but the coldest, I think the coldest bowl game. Is there a bowl at the that blue field, Boise State field?
Yes, I think Boise State had a bowl.
Here we go. Some news. Your buddy Zach Brazilier had top 25 in today's. I gotta read that. St. John's 7th, Connecticut 4th. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly. Everybody has those 3 teams in that same order. Right. UConn, St. John's, Creighton down below. So the rest of the Big East is wide open. Yeah. The rest of the Big East.
Not to get off topic, but I was somewhere tonight, and someone who watches our show, and I was just thinking, did Nicole go to Atlantic City again this weekend? So she went to the Hard Rock, and she's standing there with some pseudo rock star, right? I don't know who the guy was, right? Maybe, I don't know. Right. Remember that guy?
Oh, it was the lead singer of the opening band.
Right. And behind her is a picture of Mick Jagger and Tina Turner. And Nicole didn't know who either one of them were. How is that fathomable? Nicole Gizzy doesn't know who Mick Jagger and Tina Turner
were? She's listening. She's watching. Come on, Nicole, get in there.
Come on. She's talking to some guy who's like a wannabe Backstreet Boy and not knowing who, come on, Nicole.
Nicole, you have the link. Get in the show, Nicole. Defend yourself.
You don't know who Mick Jagger is?
And by the way, we all, once a month, one of us do a butt dial on the group chat. But at 2:30 in the afternoon, we woke up, what's his name? 4 names.
Eli. No, not
Eli's working. Luigi, Ryan Luigi.
Luigi. And it's funny, right? Tonight, nobody's phones are ringing. They're
the funniest thing, 2:30 in the afternoon, we're waking a kid up.
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
But guys, There's no static. There's no dogs barking. There's nothing, right? And he never says it's him. He never says it's him. Oh, it's not me. Who is it then?
I don't know. All I know is that since I got on the show, my fantasy football team went down the tube because Sam Darnold, who the Jets let go because he stunk, right? 4 touchdown passes. Oh, vey.
You picked him up today?
No, I'm playing against. I have him on one team, and I'm playing against him in my big league. You know, I'm on a 5-game losing streak. When I came downstairs to do the show, I was up 25 points. Now I think I'm down now.
Well, one of the
we're all
NFL
tied right now. We're all tied.
That's one of the NFL analysts was talking about his halfway point MVPs, and Daniel Jones was one of the guys
Oh
that
my
he was
God.
listed.
Until my team got him.
Unbelievable.
Until my team, my Steelers got him today and ripped him apart. Sorry, Jack.
But the one thing I wanted to stress though is in this out of conference schedule, we have to cheer for every Big East team.
Yes,
we have to be
do.
pulling for Villanova to beat BYU. That would be a huge thing for the league, for Villanova to fly into Utah with a with a new coach, with Willard coming in, taking over the program.
Kevin. I'll cheer for Kevin.
And beat a team that supposedly bought the best freshman in the country. That would be a huge thing for the league.
I'm not cheering for St. John's. Love you, but I am not cheering for St. John's. No. I'll cheer for Kevin.
Well, Nick, they're playing Quinnipiac. I don't think you'll have to.
I heard they're going to challenge this year, Quinnipiac. I heard they're pretty good. Oh boy! Any final thoughts, fellas?
No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward tomorrow night. Hopefully the professor will call in. Nicole, let's go Butler Blue. Oh God, Nicole. She knows the name of the Butler mascot and doesn't know the world's most greatest rock star of all time, Mick Jagger. I wonder if she knows who Elvis Presley is. Can you imagine?
Tell you that the Gisser and Scoop show, that's gonna be something. We're going to put them through a gauntlet of pop culture and history and movie quotes.
Well, the issue that I have with Nicole is not that she doesn't know who these people are. It's that she somehow appears proud of herself for not knowing. Robert Redford died. I have no idea who that is. Well,
who did Robert Redford play for? Robert Redford, what team was he on? Was he the quarterback for the Eagles?
Well, speaking of, Al Sertano is doing his own show right now. I just got a message that Al Sertano.
And this is what happens when you don't come on the show, Nicole. You don't have the ability to defend yourself. Final thought for me. I hope to see 8,000 people in the Prue Center for a game like this. I hope it's a loud and enthusiastic crowd. It's going to be, this game's on ESPN Plus.
They all are, right? The first 6 games or something are on ESPN Plus. Something like that.
Which I got for some other reasons. So I'll if I can't watch the game live, I will be watching it prior to our post game show. Everybody should tune into the post game show.
I just got to tell you this. I did the New York City Marathon in 2020 or 2000. It's like a highlight of my year. And whatchamacallit, YouTube TV does away with Disney and ABC, right? So I'm watching the New York City Marathon in Spanish today. I don't even know what I'm looking at the runners, but I have no idea what they're saying. It was ridiculous. I mean, YouTube TV, come on. I like Bobby, I pulled the plug, but this is getting ridiculous. How many streaming services do you have to get?
But I'm sorry, I have to ask you, how much commentary is on the marathon? The guys run 5-minute miles for 26 minutes.
That's really a good point. But my girl Bex Gentry from Peloton Studio in New York, who Christina and I know, I think was doing some of the commentary. So I wanted to hear her. And they make good points, but Yeah, that's really a good point too. Yeah. But they weren't even putting the names on the screen. So I didn't know what Kenyan was bleeding against the other Kenyan.
I don't, to me, honestly, that is one of the most amazing things that that Kenya of all countries has dominated
Yeah.
marathoning for years and years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just insane. That's
Yeah.
not a very particularly big country.
By the way, kudos to the Gisser for knowing who Engelbert Humperdinck is.
Oh my God.
I'll give her that. That's something. I'll give her points for that. I'll give her points.
You think she knows who Frank Sinatra is?
Oh, you have to.
I don't know.
You have to.
I'm not taking anything for granted anymore with her.
We gotta get her Harris Coop show ready. Nick, any final thoughts?
Nah, guys, this was more fun than anything else. So love doing it. Hopefully we're gonna do it. You're coming on tomorrow night, right? Paul and Bobby, both of you guys?
Well, I'll be on.
Well, Bobby's gonna be back at the press conference, right?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be live streaming the press conference like I always do.
Okay, if you could pop on when you get home, do.
Yeah. And then, like I said, you should have Eli tomorrow night. I think
We'll have Eli. We'll have Paul. Hopefully, the professor. Kovac said he'd come on. Okay, it'll be fun.
Cool. Oh, here we go. Another edition of Hall Hoops and Happenings. I'm Nicole. H30. Think about the possibilities of H30. Hall Hoops and Happenings. H30. We'll be back tomorrow with the the Nick from Milburn post-game show. I'll be there covering the team live on Press Row. Also, prior to that, in about 14 hours, the Coach Boz show goes live here on Surge Sports. 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. We'll be previewing the upcoming season and their opening against St. Peter's at Walsh Gym. And I'll probably have two of the newer players of the team on our show tomorrow.
Are you going to have Jordana on?
He's gonna let me know in the morning who's coming on. But 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, at noontime, lunchtime, grab a sandwich, grab a Coke, watch me and Coach Boz chew it up and get ready for their season, which begins Tuesday night.
I look forward to it. I totally look forward to it.
All right, Pirate Nation, we're off. I'm gonna go.
Good night, guys.
Hope my team comes back in the second
guys.
half of this game here. If not, go Pirates. The season begins tomorrow.
Oh, real quick, everyone, you are watching this on Surge Sports. Surge Sports is amazing. It's a brainchild of Bobby Blackjack. Surge Sports, subscribe.
See my lightning up there?
Surge Sports, yes.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow.
Bye.